These are the best 4X strategies at the moment. Enjoy watching. X4 Foundations. It is a space trading and combat game developed and published by Egosoft. The game world is a huge universe, worked out to the smallest detail. Hundreds of stations and thousands of ships trade goods among themselves. Prices change depending on supply and demand. Resources are extracted and processed in several stages. Economics is closely tied to the simulation of major conflicts in the game universe involving dynamically reacting factions. Any decision the player makes can radically change the future of the game universe. X4 allows you to personally control any ship. From small reconnaissance aircraft to the largest aircraft carrier, everything can be controlled from the cockpit or from the side. Much attention during the development of X4 was given to achieving seamless movement between ships with full 3D visibility. You can exit the ship, go down the ramp, walk through the hangar of the huge space station to your other ship, which you might have parked there, and replace the pilot working for you by simply clicking on his seat. No matter how you start, you are always free to develop in any other direction. Focus on research, make money through illegal trade and robbery, command vast battle fleets, or become the greatest entrepreneur in the world, all in your hands. Total War. WARHAMMER is a grand strategy game that combines an exciting turn-based campaign where you build your own great power with epic real-time battles. Its action takes place in the bright and unusual fantasy universe of Warhammer Fantasy Battles. In this game, you can lead any of 5 unique races: Britannia, Empire, Dwarves, Greenskins, and Vampire Counts. Each of them has its own characters, troops, and game mechanics. Your armies will be led by powerful legendary lords from the annals of the world of Warhammer Fantasy Battles. By completing exciting quest chains, they will be able to acquire renowned weapons, indestructible armor, and deadly combat spells. Each faction has access to unique types of troops and its own element in the campaign. The new quest mode includes battles, for example, the Battle of Blackfire Pass, upon completion of which the player gains access to items and abilities. The map stretches from the Chaos Wastes in the north to the Southern Badlands, from the Great Ocean in the west to the World's Edge Mountains in the east. The game also contains magic, which not all factions can use. Total War. Rome-Do. The Total War series, which has captured the hearts of players all over the world, returns to Rome and sets a new standard for excellence in strategy games. Stand at the head of the world's first superpower and take command of the most powerful military machine of the ancient world. To defeat your enemies, any means are available to you: military, economic, and political. But remember, your triumph can cause not only respect, but also the envy of even your closest allies. As in the older parts of the Total War series, the main mechanics of the game are conquest and expansion of your state. The player needs to recruit an army and build buildings in captured cities. If a player completely captures a province, he can issue an edict in it, which, for example, increases public order or the growth of the province. At the same time, it is necessary to monitor the amount of taxes received by the treasury, as well as the satisfaction of the population. If the people are disappointed in the ruler, a rebellion may occur, and a rebel army will appear on your lands. In addition to the army, players can use the services of agents who can kill enemy commanders, influence the public order of enemy lands, or increase the morale of their citizens. Agents can also join an army to increase its experience and unit characteristics. Crusader King's Deal explores one of the defining periods of world history in a game created by the masters of the grand strategy genre. Medieval Europe comes to life in this epic game of knights, intrigue, and thrones. The Dark Ages may be coming to an end, but Europe is still in turmoil. Petty lords compete with beleaguered kings who struggle to assert control over their scattered domains. The Pope calls for a crusade to protect Christians in the Holy Land, even as he refuses to relinquish control of the bishop's investiture and their wealth. It's time for greatness. Expand your possessions and secure the future of your dynasty. Fill your treasury, appoint vassals, root out traitors and heretics, introduce laws, and interact with hundreds of nobles, each of whom has their own plans. A good lord will always need friends to support him. But be careful, as loyal vassals can quickly turn into bitter rivals, and some of them may not be as reliable as they seem. Be prepared and increase your prestige until the world whispers your name in awe. Age of Wonders 4. Rule a magical kingdom in Age of Wonders 4. featuring a signature combination of 4x strategy and turn-based tactical combat. Expand your empire move by move. Powerful wizard kings have returned to the realms to rule among mortals as gods. Claim and master tomes of magic to develop your people and prepare for the epic battle that will define the centuries to come. Explore magical new worlds in Age of Wonder's signature combination of 4x strategy and turn-based tactical combat. Control a faction that grows and changes as you expand your empire with each turn. Experience an endlessly repeatable experience where each game adds a new chapter to your ever-growing saga. Each choice opens up new possibilities and tactical advantages. Deep, multi-layered strategy allows you to try new tactics or explore new possibilities at every turn. Tactical turn-based combat brings your armies to life, showcasing their strength in an environment shaped by your decisions. From skirmishes with roaming monsters to vast sieges against mighty armies, with the addition of a morale system and additional features, every battle brings a new challenge. Northgard is a strategy game based on Norse mythology in which you control a Viking clan vying for control of a mysterious new continent. The plot centers on the High King of the Vikings, who was killed and his royal horn was stolen by a man named Hagen. Thus begins a saga that will send the son and heir of King Rig, along with his faithful assistant Brand, to the new continent of Northgard. On these lands, Rig will find new friends and enemies, discover a much greater evil than Hagen, and learn about why his father died. Unlike classic city planning simulators, Northgard does not have production or resource processing chains. Everything that is available in this game will be used directly for its intended purpose. To colonize new lands and support the livelihoods of your people, food is needed for the construction of buildings and heating of houses in harsh winters, wood for the maintenance of buildings and for purchases on the market, gold for special improvements, stone, and metal. The game also has a clan happiness parameter. The higher the happiness, the faster new clan members appear and the better everyone else performs. However, the most important resource in the game is people. In Europa Universalis, you can guide the country through 4 action-packed centuries. Rule the lands and achieve global domination with freedom of action, rich gameplay, and historical accuracy. The game begins in the late Middle Ages. You will see the world exactly as it was then. Choose any of hundreds of countries and rule it until the Century of Revolutions. Or you can start the game from any period that interests you, where all the rulers will correspond to the selected year. Hundreds of historical events await you, from minor troubles in the form of civil wars to grandiose upheavals like the Protestant Reformation. The pace of a country's development directly depends on who sits on the throne. With a talented ruler, they grow quickly, but will certainly slow down if a less talented heir ascends to the throne. Think about the future and calculate what to invest the monarch's energy into. Sid Meier's Civilization V is the 5th part of the grand turn-based strategy from the Firaxis Games studio, which will absorb all the best from the previous 4 games, as well as add a lot of new things. In Civilization, players traditionally take on the role of the leader of one of the world powers, and, since ancient times, lead it to victory. On the way to victory, players can unite in alliances, fight with each other, or pursue a policy of complete isolationism. There are many ways to win in Civilization V, and only one of them involves military conflict. A huge tree of technologies is available for players to explore, spanning the period from the invention of bronze tools to the construction of spaceships. At the start, players can choose one of more than 36 unique nations, each of which has its own traits and unique units. Compared to the 4th part, Civilization V has much more advanced graphics and a more ergonomic interface that is intuitive even for those players who have never played games in the series. Become the ruler of the world by creating and leading a civilization from the dawn of mankind to the space age, fight wars, conduct diplomacy, discover new technologies, battle the greatest leaders in history, and build the most powerful empire the world has ever known. Total War. 3 Kingdoms. This game from the most popular strategy series is dedicated to the legendary military conflict in ancient China. The era of legendary heroes and the traditional Total War combination of epic real-time battles and a deeply developed turn-based campaign awaits you. China, 2nd century AD. Corruption and civil strife are tormenting the Celestial Empire. Officials, petty princes, and especially arrogant bandits are trying to grab their peace. Alliances are formed and immediately collapse. The war does not subside. Ordinary people suffer from hunger and devastation. The large-scale uprising of the Yellow Turbans will not fizzle out. The historical setting, as befits the Total War series, is recreated in detail and convincingly. You are immediately surrounded by enemies and ill-wishers, and a large number of aggressive players appear on the political scene. Choose one of 12 famous military leaders and force the rest to submit. Recruit great heroes. Defeat your enemies in the economy, in development, in political intrigue, and, of course, on the battlefield. In a step-by-step mode, we solve issues at the state level, and on the battlefield we confront the enemy in battles in real time. Both modes are full-fledged and deep, but if you wish, you can play only on the global map, leaving the calculation of the battle results to the computer, or, conversely, exclusively play in large-scale battles, because for this there is a set of historical battles. Total War Warhammer 2 is a strategy game of truly epic proportions. You have to choose one of 4 unique races and start an epic war with the goal of saving or destroying a huge and vibrant fantasy world. The game consists of 2 main parts, a turn-based strategy campaign in the open world and real-time tactical battles among the bizarre landscapes of the New World. You can delve into the intricacies of global politics in a carefully crafted campaign and enjoy an endless variety of online battles, creating your own army from your favorite units. The player will take on the role of one of the 8 legendary lords, leading the 4 iconic races of the world of Warhammer fantasy battles. To stabilize or completely destroy the Great Vortex, he will need to perform a series of sorcerous rituals and stop all attempts by his rivals to do the same. All Total War Warhammer races will be available in the single and online campaigns. Since each race has 2 legendary lords with unique starting positions, you can play through the campaign with a friend while playing as the same race. If you own both games in the series, all races included in them will be available in online play. Stellaris. As with all of our grand strategy games, Stellaris introduces new features over time. And the free update policy that exists in every actively supported Paradox game will allow you to further strengthen and expand your empire with new technologies and features. You will start each game as a civilization that has just discovered the possibility of interstellar travel and is eager to begin exploring the galaxy. Send scientific ships to explore systems and study anomalies, trigger chains of events, find unusual worlds with even more unusual stories, and make discoveries that could change the course of your empire. An endless cycle of wars, diplomacy, suspicions, and alliances awaits you. Defend or attack with fully customizable war fleets. And remember that adaptation is the key to victory. Explore complex technologies and use them to design and modify ships in the Ship Designer. In addition, you have a lot of possibilities, and each decision can trigger a whole chain of events. Manual tuning and procedural generation will allow you to encounter an unlimited variety of species. Choose positive and negative attributes, a special ideology, any restrictions, ways of development, and everything you can imagine. Crusader Kings is a continuation of the popular series of games from Paradox Development Studio, which won the love of players with a combination of global strategy and role-playing games in the surroundings of the Middle Ages. Discover a simulated living world full of peasants, knights, courtiers, spies, jesters, and secret romances. You can seduce, betray, execute, and deceive many historical characters. Build your kingdom across vast medieval territories, from the snowy Scandinavian fjords to the sands of the Somali Peninsula, from the British Isles to the rich lands of Burma. Inherit and conquer thousands of counties, duchies, kingdoms, and empires. Become a godly king who will win the sympathy of the religious authorities, or create your own faith and fight the battle between eternal glory and eternal damnation. Expect thousands of dynamic events and fate-altering decisions designed for every possible character in every possible situation. There are countless ways you can write your name into history. Total War Warhammer 7 unique races and hundreds of units are available to you. Gather your own army and win large-scale and spectacular battles in real time, unfolding in a huge world. The gameplay of Total War Warhammer III is divided into 2 parts, just like in all its predecessor games. For the most part, the player will spend time in global turn-based strategy mode, managing the development of his faction, constructing the necessary buildings in cities and castles, hiring troops, and moving armies across a detailed three-dimensional map. When colliding with an enemy, you will switch to tactical battle mode. In it, the player will be able to directly control troops in real time with the ability to speed up/slow down or pause what is happening to think about further actions. Join Total War, WARHAMMER multiplayer campaigns with up to 8 players and choose to form or break alliances as you see fit. Complete turns simultaneously, engage in a variety of combat activities, and choose from 3 different campaign scenarios with varying geographic and time frames. No one will be left behind as players can join battles initiated by other players as part of their army. In Total War, you will find energetic and exciting battles. Hearts of Iron 4 is an exciting new age war simulator that challenges you to think strategically and replay the game over and over again. This part adds strategic battle planning, more advanced systems of technological development, and politics. The latter will allow you to maintain neutrality. Take control of the most powerful military machine in the world. Manage industry and plan battles and diplomacy in Hearts of Iron IV. This massive strategy game features not only historically accurate gameplay, but also fun alternate history options. The dramatic events of World War II will unfold before you. Transform the world into your battlefield. Experience the entire period of World War II on a topographical map showing seasons, weather, and terrain. Snow, mud, storms can be both your strong ally and your ruthless enemy. Sid Meier's Civilization is a turn-based strategy computer game in the Civilization series developed by Firaxis Games and released on October 21, 2016. Civilization VI offers many new ways to interact with the game world. The city now reveals itself to take up more and more space on the map. Your actions affect the course of scientific research and cultural life of the civilization. Opponents pursue different goals depending on their historical traits in attempts to achieve one of 5 ways to achieve final victory. By rethinking the one unit per army concept, you can now attach support units to units. For example, you can directly provide infantry with anti-tank weapons or order settlers to accompany your warriors. Combat values of the same type can be combined, thereby forming formidable troops from them. Civilization VI will give experienced players the opportunity to make their empire exactly the way they wanted it to be, and thanks to this, achieve success. The new training system will help new players become familiar with the fundamental ideas of the genre and easily plunge into the game from the first minutes. Write in the comments which game do you like more, and what selection of games to make next time.